What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Assassin's Creed deck that I've built for Commander. This was the second deck that I ever built. Let's go ahead and take a leap of faith and talk about this deck tech. I'm going to hit that intro and let's get right into the video. Welcome back, everybody. Like I said in the intro, today we're going to be taking a look at my Ezio Auditore de Firenze deck. This is my ode to the Assassin's Creed series. Every card in this deck is an Assassin's Creed card. I don't have Arcane Signet or Sol Ring in here just because, again, they weren't printed in the Assassin's Creed set. So this deck isn't really optimized, but it is very good. It's like I'd consider it to be a bracket 2. But it's beaten bracket 4s. And I actually won with this deck a few months ago against a bracket 4. So that was really cool. But in case you guys don't know what the Assassin's Creed line does, it primarily focuses on casting historic spells and cheating out creatures. So the biggest thing with Ezio is free running. And free running is basically a mechanic kind of like ninjutsu. I think that's probably the closest thing I would compare it to, but it's a combat mechanic. So you swing for combat, and then you're going to cheat in a creature. The only difference is with ninjutsu, you're replacing said creature that you're swinging with, whereas with free running, you're just playing creatures for cheaper, and they're just, you're not replacing anything, you're just adding to your board state. So I think free running is kind of better than ninjutsu in a way. I really like it. It only costs 2 black to cheat in any assassin creature. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about Ezio Auditore, because he's an amazing commander. And if any of you guys really know me, you know that I've played Assassin's Creed throughout my life. And I started with Assassin's Creed 2, which I believe this print of Ezio is what it's based off of. It's just an amazing game. It challenged me. I loved the story. I really felt bad for Ezio with what he had to go through. It was kind of very blindsiding for him. Just, it all happened so fast. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to spoil the games for you, but go ahead and check it out. Ezio is just my favorite assassin. His story is my favorite. I love the characters that he interacts with. There's just so many characters that I love. And I know some of those are in this deck that we'll get into. But my second favorite Assassin's Creed game is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's the one that takes place during the Industrial Revolution in London. And the main assassins for that game was Jacob and Evie Frye. And those are in here as well. Those are my prized possessions. I love them. And I also have their mother in here, which is Lydia Frye. And she was kind of like a side quest in that game. So, this deck pays a lot of, respect to those games and to the entire series. So this was, like my 1.5. I call it my 1.5 just because I built Alloro first. But technically, this was already built. I didn't have the cards for it before Alloro. So this is technically my second built deck. But, this is what got me into Magic in the first place, was the Assassin's Creed set. Because I remember, playing with my roommate. I bought the standard. There was like a standard deck bundle. It came with 2 standard Assassin's Creed decks. I think one of them was like an Ezio Blade of Vengeance, and the other one was an Ivor Battle Ready or something like that. But I would play that before I got into Commander. But that was like a few weeks before I got into Commander. I would honestly say that Commander was the way I got in, because I built Alloro, I found the Commander, and then an Ezio, obviously. And I got lucky with this Ezio, because my local game store at the time had him in the display case. And I remember being so excited, I went and grabbed it. And, the rest is history. But this is my deck. I use the Midnight Blue Dragon Shield matte sleeves. These are the best sleeves I've ever had. Highly recommend them. They're very durable. But this is my deck. And then as you can see, I have a stack of black sleeves over here. These are my tokens. And what I like to do, just to make sure my tokens don't get mixed in with the rest of my deck, is I put different colored sleeves on there. So it kind of, you know, it signifies, hey, this is a token compared to a card for the deck, which is these blue sleeves. So that's why they're here. But I do want to go ahead and take some time to talk about these tokens because they are really cool. I did get some custom tokens off of Etsy, like this one here. This is an Assassin Glass Death Touch Haste token. And I got this, again, off of Etsy. It's just really cool. I will be getting more of these just because I think they're awesome. And then I have this Assassin token with Menace, 1/1. And again, I will be getting more of these as time goes on. But right now, I wanted to get one just to have them because they were like $3 a pop. And then after shipping and stuff, it was probably close to $10. But they're really cool. And then I have 2 regular Assassin tokens, just, you know, from what Wizards of the Coast came up with. And then I have Phobos token. I have 2 treasures from Assassin's Creed. These aren't sleeved yet, but I'm going to sleeve them soon. I have 2 sleeve treasure tokens from Assassin's Creed, and then I have a mysterious creature token. So those are my tokens for this deck. I'm missing a shapeshifter token, but I want to go ahead and get the Plague Doctor from Assassin's Creed, because again, this whole deck is just Assassin's Creed cards. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about each card. I'm going to probably skip over some. I'm going to show you everything, but I'm only going to talk about the ones that signify something or mean a lot to me, just because I don't want the video to be like 30 minutes long. I did record this before, and it was like almost an hour, so I want to get through it faster, and I have sorted the cards out to be easier to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to talk about Ezio here. We're going to read him out. Ezio Auditore de Firenze is a legendary creature human assassin who costs 1 colorless, 1 black, and he has Menace, and assassin spells you cast have free running, double black. So again, the main goal is to go to your combat step, tap your creatures to attack, and then because you're, you know, doing your combat, if you hit a player to the face and do damage, you get to cheat in any assassin creature for 2 black. So it's essentially a cost reducer. You don't have to pay the mana for all your creatures and everything like that because you have the free running, which is really cool. And then whenever Ezio deals combat damage to a player, you may pay Wooburg. If that player has 10 or less life, what do? That player loses the game. So that's really cool. It's just kind of extra security. It does cost Wooburg, which kind of, you know, it's not great, but it is something you can kind of work through with this deck, and he is a 3/2. His power and toughness is 3/2. So again, Ezio is my favorite character in all of Assassin's Creed. He's also kind of the face of Assassin's Creed, so it just makes sense for him to be my commander. And I just love this borderless art. This thing was like $30 to $50 when I got it, and it's gone down just a little bit. But again, I'm going to cherish this deck forever. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that I ended up buying Silent Clearing for this deck, so I did go ahead and take a card out, but it's just a basic swamp, and I've added some stuff in. So right now, my deck only has 99 cards in it, but I haven't played with it since, and I'm waiting for that card to come in, and then to add it. So this isn't a full 100-card deck. This is just a 99 right now, because I'm waiting on that card to get in. But again, this is going to be, you know, everything else in the deck. So let's go ahead and start off with creatures, guys. First of all, Ezio Blade of Vengeance. Ezio Blade of Vengeance is an amazing card. This came out in that standard set that I was talking to you about. He costs a good bit of mana, but he's got Death Touch. And whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to a player, I draw a card, and he's a 5/5. So again, he costs a lot of mana, but with free running, if I go out and I swing and hit a player, I can cheat this guy in for 2 mana, which is insane. That's the whole point about free running. This is a really good card. I love it. I love the art. It's Ezio jumping on the roofs of Florence, I'm pretty sure, from the second game. It's a great card. I love it. Speaking of the Assassin's Creed 2 game, one of my favorite characters in all of Assassin's Creed is Leonardo da Vinci. Now, this card really focuses on artifact synergies and Thopter tokens and stuff like that. So he doesn't really have a lot of synergy with the deck, but the deck, it's an Assassin's Creed deck, so I had to put him in there. He's also one of my favorite characters, and I really enjoyed what they did with him in the games. And obviously here it's the borderless foil with the Mona Lisa, and he's drawing the Mona Lisa, so I thought that was really cool and much needed. He's a 3/3 body that does things with artifacts, but he's awesome. I love Leonardo da Vinci, and I might even make a deck based around him in the future. Next is a card that I actually pulled from one of the bundles, and this is Socrates, Athenian teacher. This, again, I pulled it, so I have a lot of nostalgia for this card. I originally wasn't running it in the deck, but I recently put it in because I wanted to use all the cards that I really liked that I pulled. So I went and put him in here. He's a defender. He has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Now, he's not an assassin, but there's cards in here that can make him turn into an assassin. That way you can cheat him in, but he only costs 3 mana anyway, so it's not really needed. He's just kind of... He's here for utility. He doesn't attack or anything like that. He does extra stuff that support the deck. And he's just really cool. I like the borderless art once again. Now we're going to talk about the secret layer cards that I have in the deck. I plan on getting the Leonardo da Vinci cards eventually, but for now we're just going to focus on the other ones. So I do have Basim, Master Assassin, which is Ramses Assassin Lord, which is a really well-known Dimir card. It's very good, but this card costs 4. Again, he is an assassin, so I can cheat him in, but he is a legendary creature with Death Touch, and he basically says, other assassins I control get +1/+1, so he's just boosting up everything on the board. Whenever a player loses the game, if they were attacked this turn by an assassin you control, you win the game. So it's a win con. He's really cool. He's awesome. He's a 4/4 assassin body that I can cast for 2 mana, and he boosts up other assassins and can potentially win me the game. So, had to have him in here. This is the foil borderless from the Secret Lair. He's just really awesome. And the next card that we have from that Secret Lair is Altair Brotherhood Mentor. He costs 3 mana, but again, he's an assassin, so we can cheat him in. And he has Vigilance and Haste, and he gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have, and he basically gives you an outlet to get experience counters, so he's a one-stop shop for what he does. It's pretty cool, but he's here if you want to read the rest of him. He's awesome. And then we have Amunet, Tyrant's End. It's the foil borderless. She's got Death Touch and Haste, and when she enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. And then she's got more utility if an opponent ends up having the Monarch. She does some cool stuff for that, and she's a 3/3 body, so that's always amazing. The next few cards they're one of my most treasured possessions in all of my collection. They're very cheap cards, but I love them. They're my second favorite assassins in the entire series. It is Jacob Frye. I love Jacob Frye. He's amazing. This is the foil etched copy. I just love foil etched. I think it's really cool. I think the design is really nice. I like the artwork on this card. But he is a partnered, he has the partner ability with Evie Frye, and whenever one or more assassins you control deal combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target assassin card or card with free running from your graveyard. If you do copy it, you may cast the copy. So he essentially takes a card in the graveyard and gives it recursion value. So you don't technically bring it back, but you make a copy of it and then bring the copy back. So it's just really cool in that sense, and I just really love this guy. He's amazing. Again, if you haven't played Syndicate, highly recommend. Next, we have Evie Frye. This is the sister, and she has partners with Jacob. Specifically, I love that. But you can pay 1 and tap her to draw a card and then discard a card. And when you discard a creature card this way, target creature you control can't be blocked. So just a good way of getting one of your assassins, making them unblockable and dealing a lot of damage, essentially. Just very cool. Love the artwork. Love the character. Highly recommend you play the game. Here's their mother, Lydia Frye. She can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. So she's got some unblockability there. If you put, like, Excalibur, Sword of Eden, add +10 to her, she'll do what? She'll be 13. She'll do 13 damage, unblockable. So you can just pretty much swing out for lethal using some tactics with her. So she's pretty cool. At the beginning of your end step, surveil X, where X is the number of tapped assassins you control. So again, it's just getting stuff in your graveyard. It's also giving you some top deck information. It's just trying to see what is, what cards are you about to draw, that kind of thing. Helps you cycle through your deck a lot quicker. Just a very good card, and it synergizes well because it's Lydia, it's their mother, and she's in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So next is Sean and Rebecca agents. They are the people that work for the, what do you call it? Goodness gracious. The people that make the Animus. I forget already. I forgot the name of that company. But it's okay. They're the people in Syndicate, in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, who are helping the main character go through the Jacob and Evie Frye universe, essentially. So just, they're cool. This is the foil-edged copy. They are assassins. They have the assassin tag, so you can cheat them in for 2 black, which is pretty cool. And they have vigilance, and when they enter the battlefield, you can search your graveyard, hand, and library for a card named the Animus, and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. You can tap and add a colorless, and when you do, you mill 2 cards. So again, it just cycles through your deck a little bit faster, get some stuff in your graveyard. And there is some graveyard recursion in here, but again, they're just here for flavor mostly. So just very cool pairing. And they're from Syndicate, so they were in auto include for me. Next is Desmond Miles. This is just one of my favorite characters in all of Assassin's Creed. Again, if you don't know who Desmond is, he's the guy that basically goes in the Animus for Ezio's story. He starts off. He might have even been in the first Assassin's Creed game. I can't remember. But he was in Assassin's Creed 2, and he was basically the one that was following Ezio and trying to find the apple and stuff like that, and just doing some cool stuff. I love Desmond. He's really cool. He has some unique synergy with assassins, and, whenever he deals damage to a player, you can surveil. So, again, just cycling through your library, trying to see and get information of your top decks and stuff like that. Next is Edward Kenway. I mean, he's Edward. He's one of the best assassins in all of Assassin's Creed. He costs a lot of mana, but again, you can cheat him in, and he is a 5/5. So he's incredible. He does some stuff with pirates and treasure tokens and things like that, so he can give you some extra mana. And there's some pirates in here, so he synergizes well with those as well. Speaking of pirates, Mary Reed and Anne Bonny. This is the borderless foil version. I just love borderless, can't you tell? But they are legendary creature, human assassin pirates. They have haste. You can tap to draw a card and then discard. So again, just extra card draw, stuff like that. And then whenever you discard a land or a pirate or vehicle card, you create a tap treasure token. So again, this and Edward on the battlefield, you're going to be making some treasure tokens, and they have nice synergy together, so that's pretty cool. Next is Cassandra Eaglebearer. She basically allows you to grab. She's a tutor for the Spear of Leonidas, which is a legendary artifact in this deck that gives your creatures one of 3 things. You can choose between those 3 options, and one of them is double strike. So essentially, she's a tutor for this artifact, and then you can put the artifact on the battlefield, and that artifact does double strike during your combat. So it's just really cool. She is a awesome, assassin from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now I have my reservations about that game. It just didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game per se. It felt more of like a God of War open world game. But I still love the game, and I love the characters and just the world. I thought it was cool. Again, I just didn't think it was necessarily an Assassin's kind of... They weren't stealthy or anything. You just kind of ran in and did stuff. But still very cool. Love this. Next is Bossum. He's really cool. He costs 2 mana, a black and a blue, but again, you can cheat him in for 2 blacks if you have double black swamps instead of the blue. It kind of makes it harder to play him without the free running, but, if you have them in he costs 2 anyways, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but he really focuses on historic spells whenever you cast them, You can basically draw a card, so he just gives you extra card draw, and he can't be blocked the turn that you play him. Excuse me. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you put a 1/1 counter on him. So, pretty awesome. Next is Ivor Battle Ready. This is the other card that was in the standard sets that I bought. Again, it's an assassin, so you can cheat him in, or cheat her in, essentially, for 2 instead of paying the 5. She's got vigilance and haste, and whenever she attacks, she deals damage equal to the number of equipment you control. There is a lot of artifact equipments in this deck, so just keep that in mind. She's very good. Next is Ivor Wolfkissed. She costs 6 mana, but you can cheat her in for for 2 mana, and she's a 7/6. So you can cheat her in for 2 to bring out a 7/6 body with trample and haste. And whenever she deals combat damage to a player, you mill that many cards, and you may put a saga or a land card. So if you have both, you can put both on the battlefield, and they're not tapped. So she's just a very good card to cheat in. She's incredible. Next is Xiao Zhong, or however you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. She costs 3 mana, but again, you can cheat her in. And she actually won me a few games last month. I went up to the area where my college was at, and I played with a friend, and I beat him with Xiao Zhong. I basically put the Excalibur Sword of Eden on the battlefield, attached it to Xiao, and then I put the Spear of Leonidas on her, which gave it double strike. So she was a 13/3 with double strike. So she gains flying during combat on your turn. And so it was 13 damage before double strike. It was 26 damage after. So straight lethal. Very insane, very awesome. She's just a really good card. Highly recommend putting her in your Assassin's Creed decks. Next is Layla Hazan. Just very cool. I think she's from Origins, but I'm not 100% sure. Origins is the first game that I haven't played. It's the only game left that I haven't played, but very cool. Arno Dorian, he's from Assassin's Creed Unity. He does some cool stuff. He just boosts up your assassins. And then I have Ratonicon. I probably pronounced that very poorly, but, he's pretty cool. Roshan, Hidden Magister, basically gives all other creatures on the battlefield the assassin tag. So again, this is going to help cards like Socrates and Leonardo, that kind of thing. Achilles Davenport is next. Very good card. You can, cheat it in with free running. He's got Menace and boosts up all your other assassins. This is a very recent include, is Shay Cormac. I just recently put him in. This is the foil showcase version. You can pay mana into him, and permanents your opponents you control lose Hexproof, Indestructible, Protection, Shroud, and Ward until end of turn. So again, this is just helping you break through your opponent's defenses. If they have like a Darksteel Colossus or Blightsteel, whichever one, well, they both have Indestructible, but whichever one has Toxic. I think the more expensive, I think it's Blightsteel, but I could be wrong. Just to get through those kind of cards that have indestructibility, I just thought it was for 2 mana, you can't go wrong. He does a lot of other stuff. He gives +1/+1 counters and things like that. So he's just a really good card. Next is Bayek of Siwa. This guy is the main assassin in Origins. Just thought he was pretty cool. Aya of Alexandria. Has Menace and Lifelink and creates some tokens. And then I have Arbozmir. Now, those are all my creatures that I have in the deck. So, or at least no, there actually might be more. Hold on. Oh, there's more. I lied. There's more. There's a lot more. I think I have around 32 creatures in the deck. But I have Royal Assassin. It's a targeted removal on a creature. It's pretty crazy for 3 mana. You can also cheat it in for 2 mana. But it's destroy target tapped creature. So that's pretty cool. Very good card. I have Assassin Initiate in the deck. It's just a really good 1-drop. Very good. You can give him Death Touch and Lifelink, so very good card. We have Brotherhood Spy, Hookblade Veteran, just really good, early plays. Especially Hookblade, just because he has flying. It's a flyer. A lot of people don't have flyers in their decks, so if you put Excalibur on this guy, he's going to do 11 damage flying. And the good thing about artifacts is you can move them around, so he's just a really good utility piece, especially early in the game. But those are all of my creatures in the deck currently. So now we're going to go into my instance. I have Escape Detection, which is basically in the deck just for the fact that it's a Syndicate card. It's got Evie Frye on the front, and it's foil etched, and those two things I just love. You know what I mean? So I put it in here, but it gives you extra card draw. Desynchronization is one of the best, essentially, removals in the game. You can cheat this in, and return each non-land permanent that's not historic to its owner's hand. The only problem is it costs 4 mana, but this has been used in CEDH and some other formats too, so it's just a really good card, and it's, the flavor, you know what I mean? But it's pretty decent. Next is Chain Assassination. It has my boy Jacob Frye on there. Just really like it. It has free running, and it's, targeted removal. Destroy target creature, and if another creature died, you draw. So it's targeted removal and card draw in one card. I have Murder in here. Murder is not good at all, but it's the foil etched copy, and it's from Syndicate. Jacob is jumping on the guy at the theater. This is towards the end of the game, from what I can remember. I just love the card. It's very thematic for what I like. Go for the Throat. This is one of the better targeted removal options in all of Magic. It's just 2 mana to destroy a non-artifact creature. It's very good in black decks, and, the flavor's there. Fatal Push. We got Mortify, targeted removal stuff. And that's pretty much what I have for my instance for now. Now, for my enchantments is pretty cool. I have Black Market Connections. This is the Assassin's Creed foil etched copy. We all know and love this card, especially if you like playing black like I do. It's just very good. It gives you a lot of utility and a lot of just good things. So that's in here. We got Coastal Piracy. That's a really good card. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw. So it's just extra card draw. Propaganda just forces your opponents to interact with each other and not you, essentially, because, it forces them to pay 2 for each creature that's attacking you. So Bleeding Effects, just really, really good in this deck. Very good. Cover of Darkness. This is from, I think, Assassin's Creed Unity, at least the art. It's either that or Syndicate, but it looks like Unity to me. But you choose a creature type, and creatures of the chosen type have fear. So it just gives all assassins fear. This is an assassin's deck, so everything's going to have fear. Self-explanatory. Really good. We have Revelations of Ezio, just a really good saga in the deck, and Ballad of the Black Flag, which is another good saga. Then we have Rooftop Bypass, which basically allows you to create tokens. It's a token generator, and Eagle Vision allows you to draw cards. It's free running, so it's you pay 2 to draw 3. Not the best, but it's very good in this deck specifically. Again, I'm trying to breeze through. I don't want this. We're close to 30 minutes anyway, but we got Restart Sequence, Viewpoint Synchronization, just to go ahead and get some mana in case we need it. Just a good way to find basics and bring them into the battlefield. Auditory Ambush is a tutor for Ezio Blade of Vengeance. Just a very good card. And those are my sorceries. So we're getting into my artifacts, and some of these make sense, others don't. They're in here for flavor, essentially. Like Apple of Eden, Isu Relic. This thing isn't very good. It's just really cool. It's the borderless foil, and it's the Apple of Eden. You couldn't have an Assassin's Creed deck without having the Apple of Eden in here. It's a very good card. Highly recommend. In the flavor category, it doesn't do much for gameplay, but it's cool to cast it. Staff of Eden Vault's Key is kind of in the same boat. It's not very good, but it's cool for flavor. Borderless foil copy. Now, one of the best equipments in this deck is Sword of Feast and Famine. This thing is amazing. This is the borderless foil. This thing was expensive when I bought it, but it gives an equipped creature +2/+2 and has protection. So it gives protection from certain colors, so it protects from targeted removal and things like that. And then whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and you untap all lands. So that within itself is incredible. Getting the opportunity to just untap your lands and have, you know, stuff for interaction and extra mana is just sick. But as you can see, next is Sword of Light and Shadow. This is one of the other better artifacts in the deck. It costs 3 colorless mana to bring out, but equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and black. So again, just more protection. And then whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life, and you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is graveyard recursion with some other stuff to it. It's very good. It's the foil borderless. This was also pretty expensive whenever I bought it. But I love the card. It's awesome. Now, the next card I pulled from that same bundle that I got Socrates, and this is Yggdrasil Rebirth Engine. This is a card that I didn't think would be too good in the deck, but I wanted it in here anyway for the flavor. Because again, this deck isn't necessarily supposed to be the most powerful thing or synergistic thing out there. This is just an Assassin's deck from Assassin's Creed, so I put it in anyway, and I love it. But the text is there if you want to pause the video and read it. It's got a lot to it, but I love the art because it is the borderless. And I pulled it, so there's nostalgic value there. The next card is probably the best artifact in the entire deck. It is Excalibur Sword of Eden, and I did bring this up many times in the video already, but it is a really good artifact. You're not going to be paying 12 for it pretty much ever, because it costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of historic permanents. This deck is full of historic permanents. That is one of the sub-themes for the deck anyway. Historic permanents, I believe, is like legendary creatures, artifacts, things like that. And this deck, as you can see, has way too many legendary creatures in here. So if this deck plays very good, you're going to be throwing out assassins to swing for combat, and then that you're going to be cheating in more assassins. And if you pay more than like 4 or 5 for Excalibur, I'd be very shocked. And it gives +10/+0 in vigilance, so just very good. Next card is Spear of Leonidas. This is the card I was talking to you about with Cassandra. It gives you one of 3 things. One is Double Strike, and I never really choose the other options just because Double Strike is so effective in this deck. But it gives Double Strike. It also creates a Phobos token, and then it allows you to discard 2 and draw 2. So it's a draw engine 2. But again, I feel like this deck specifically wants combat damage, so Double Strike is where it really shines. And it's pretty cheap too. Next is the Mjolnir Stormhammer. I don't really like this card that much. It's got some good uses and stuff like that. But essentially, you're putting stun counters on things, and then you deal damage to each opponent equal to the number of tapped creatures that opponent controls based on your stun counters. So it does some good stuff. It's just kind of, I don't know, I don't like hammers. I got some bias against hammers. I don't know. Thor's not that cool anyway, in my opinion. I've never been a Thor fan, but next is Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass. This is a very, very good artifact. This is kind of similar to Sensei's Divining Top and Bolas' Citadel. It allows you to look at the top card of your library, and it allows you to play historic lands and cast historic spells from the top of your library. But this also taps for blue. So it's a mana rock too, so it's awesome. And it costs 4, which is a little high, but trust me, it's worth it. It's so worth it. I've won games because of this card, and it's incredible. Next, we have Adressia. This is one of the cards that I'm like, I could take it out and replace it. I just don't really care too much about this card. It's cool and all, and it's, foil etched, but I don't know. I'm not a big artifact guy as far as like artifact vehicles and crewing and things like that. I just don't really like that mechanic. But, excuse me. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea, but it's got the flavor, so it's in here. Next is the Animus. It's cool. It does some cool stuff. It allows you to copy target creature cards in exile. So it exiles cards and then allows you to copy them. Very good. Next is Brotherhood Regalia. This is a very expensive card. But equipped creature has Ward 2, is an assassin in addition to its other types, and can't be blocked. So it's just a very, very, very good artifact equipment. Next is Assassin's Gauntlet. I mean, can you guys tell why this is in here? It's got Evie Frye on the cover and his lovely gauntlet. I remember when I was a kid, I ended up buying his gauntlet, and I would play with it. I think I still have it, actually, up in the closet. But I just loved his gauntlet specifically. I loved the way it looked with the gold and black colors, and I loved the game and the gameplay. I was obsessed with that game. So obviously I had to put this card in there. Next is Haystack. Come on, guys. It's not an Assassin's Creed deck without Haystack. One of the biggest things about Assassin's Creed is the fact that they have to perform the leap of faith and land in haystacks. I mean, it's a very funny inside joke for people that love the games, and it's got to be in here. It offers, you know, protection on, you know, on an artifact. So you pay 2 to tap to phase out a creature. Very good to protect your stuff. Next is Smoke Bomb. This is also a pretty decent protection piece. So that is all for the artifacts. And now we're down to our lands. So we're almost done with the video, guys, I promise. If you stuck through the video this long, thank you so much. I hope you've had some fun looking at a Assassin's Creed deck. But first land I have is Abstergo Entertainment. Just a very good Assassin's Creed land. And next I have Brotherhood Headquarters. Again, just very good. And then we have what I like to call the diorama lands. And the reason why I call them diorama lands is because there's multiple of these, and they come together to create a picture. It's very cool, and you'll see kind of what I mean. So I have Fiery Islet, I have Nurturing Peatland, I have some Submerged Boneyard, that doesn't really include that, Sunbaked Canyon, and Waterlogged Grove. So specifically, these lands here create like an image, essentially. And I don't remember exactly how this image is created, but it creates some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of diorama set. Just very cool. I did order Silent Clearing, and that is another one of these that taps 4 white and black. So that is on the way, and that is the 5th land. And I think I have them all at that point. But these do create that scene, and again, they're really cool. They tap for mana, deal a damage. Some allow you to draw a card. Well, all of them allow you to draw a card, but, you know, there's really good lands. Highly recommend these guys. Just very, very good. And then we have my basics. Now, you guys know I love Assassin's Creed Syndicate, so I tried to have these, because this is from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's Evie Frye on top of the industrial buildings and stuff like that. These are foil. I need to get more of them, because I want all of these in the deck. I want this just to be all my swamps. But as you can see, I am also running these swamps, and I want to just be running these. So these are cool. And then I have these, as you can see, and then I have kind of like the basic copies of these too. And they're still very cool, but not what I want. And then I have some really cool islands that I'm running. So just very cool. This is a foil copy, very nice. I'm actually going to put that above here. And then I have like black flag copies here. Just very cool. Very cool stuff. Now I am changing the land base a little bit from what this is. This is just swamps and islands, which isn't the most efficient way. I just really focused on that free running, which is why I have so many swamps and islands. However, I did go ahead in my updated Mox field, which I will link to the description of this video. I took the land base down to 5 of each basics. So I added a mountain, 5 mountains, 5 forests, 5 plains, that kind of thing. Just to have that extra consistency and stuff like that. But guys, this has been the deck tech for my Assassin's Creed deck. I hope you enjoyed looking at all these cards. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time on the channel, and finally have gotten around to it, because the deck is pretty much where I want it to be for now, outside of the few addings, you know. But that's going to be the end of the video. Smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments who's your favorite assassin. I want to know your favorite assassins Mine is Ezio and Jacob and Evie Frye. What is yours? Comment that down below. Again, smash the like button, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.